Hey guys, your humble host, or Kayla if you prefer, so I want to give my thoughts on an article that I read. I'm going to put the link to the article in the description below. So, this comes from star.com and it involves a young female student in Florida, and she was pulled aside during school hours to address a violation of dress code. Now, a couple things, if you want to read through the article and come back to this video, that's perfectly fine. A couple things I want to address in the article or point out that I feel is very important. You have a young female student, 17, who walked out of the house not wearing a bra. She wore a big sweatshirt, but she really didn't wear anything underneath said sweatshirt, and she was pulled aside by a female dean privately to address the situation as she was a distraction to her fellow classmates. And so what this female dean did was try to have her put on a second shirt and move around and see if that solved the problem. This unfortunately did not. So, this young female student, her name is Martinez, was sent to the nurse's office and told to put band-aids over her nipples, acting as pasties. Her mother was then notified to discuss the matter, and it was called a sensitive situation. The mother was not happy with what happened with her daughter, as her daughter was left in tears from being told to put band-aids over her protruding nipples. And when she was told by her daughter that she was made to do this, she slammed on the brakes of her car, looked at her daughter, and said, "Oh my gosh, you've got to be kidding me." She pulled her daughter out of school early that day. She then called to arrange a meeting to express her frustration. The meeting did not go to her liking, and the principal, nurse, superintendents, and other school officials were in agreement that her daughter had violated the school dress code. Now, it is noted in the article that it was felt the school could have handled the situation a bit more appropriately than what they did, but as you will notice in the article, Martinez was never sent home by the school. Instead, she was kept at the school to try to address the matter privately and in a creative way. When it comes to the band-aids, how they were used in this situation is not really all that uncommon, as when it comes to both employers and schools, they are also used to cover up unwanted piercings and tattoos. So trying to use the band-aids for pasties to cover up the students' protruding nipples was not really all that dramatic and not all that unreasonable. So the mother in the article was very dissatisfied with both responses she got. She had sent an email to one of the superintendents, received a phone call a little bit later, who she felt started to sympathize with her, and then turned around and said, "Hey, no, your daughter was in violation and causing a distraction for the other students." Now, as you notice also in this article, the fact that you either went through it before watching this video or after the fact, that you will notice that it said students. It didn't just focus on the male students. It referred to students as both sexes, both genders, boys and girls, male and female. So that's something to note too. I have been in that situation myself when I was in high school over 9 years ago, 9 and 10 years ago, where I was doing a packet, a paperwork of sorts, and I had another female student sitting next to me. And her breasts were protruding out. She wasn't wearing a bra, but she was literally about ready to pop out of her shirt. And some of us were kind of concerned that she was going to do so, seeing how little the shirt actually covered. It was quite surprising that she was allowed to stay in the classroom dressed that way. And something I have noticed, whether you agree or disagree, a lot of the younger generations have forgotten what modesty is. And just around my town alone, just around my area, I have seen younger girls, teenage, dress more provocatively. Now, something to take note too because it's not oppressive, and the school wasn't sexualizing the student's body, because you notice at the end of the article that Martinez tweeted at the school saying, "Stop sexualizing my body," and she had said that she was going to stop wearing a bra to school altogether to protest what had happened. Number one, this is stupid because you are a walking distraction to everyone around you. Number two, you're going into a learning environment that has both male and female teenagers developing hormones at different levels and maturities. So it's not fair for you to walk in there as a physical distraction. Men are physical, or excuse me, men are visual creatures. Boys have a big struggle with that growing up, and you don't need to be making it worse. The dress code is there, so everybody is dressed modestly. It will be just like a guy going to school without underwear, because you can tell when they wear underwear and you can tell when they don't. It'll be just as inappropriate. Something else I want to point out too, because I've heard this argument pop up multiple times. People try to equate male breasts with female breasts. You can't do that. Female breasts are sex organs. They are sexual. Yes, they are there to feed infants when the woman gives birth, but they're also used for sexual expression. Men's breasts, not so much. Men and women are different in that regard. So for the mother to get overly dramatic and pull her student out twice early in the school day and try to summon all these people and waste their time when everyone goes, "No, your daughter broke dress code," because the mother did say in the article, well, the dress code doesn't specifically address whether or not bras are to be worn. It's common sense. It really is. And if wire bras, because from the description of what the girl was wearing, which was a big gray sweatshirt, sounds like she was dressing for comfort, but usually with a lot of teenagers, if you're going without underwear, you have other ideas. That just, come on. Um, Not saying that this is specifically the case with this teenager, but the fact that she wasn't wearing anything underneath the sweatshirt. If you want to dress for comfort and you don't want to mess with the wire bras, there are sports bras. Sports bras don't have wires. They have comfortable, sometimes cotton in there. The material used or the cloth is a lot more soft, velvet filling, and the elastic band isn't too bad. The straps are a bit thicker. So if you want to dress for comfort, wear a sports bra or at least wear a shirt, an undershirt that has a built-in bra, because there are a lot of shirts nowadays that do have those bras built in, whether it be wire bras or sports bras. But to go out of your way to create a bigger scene is just beyond ridiculous. I've seen more and more articles pop up of, it's usually the female students complaining, "Oh, we're being oppressed, our bodies are being sexualized." No, you're being asked to dress appropriately and modestly. I'm all for wearing what you like. I'm all for dressing confidently, and you can do that as a teenager. But at the same time, you're in a classroom with other maturing young adults. Everyone needs to dress appropriately. It goes for the guys too. The guys' dress code is a little bit different from the girls. Like, their butts aren't hanging out, pants pulled all the way up, wear boxers, brief, what have you. So, because I saw this in the thread of the specific tweet of the article, I thought, well, what about guys when their nipples are protruding? It's a bit different. I mean, it really is. Men's breasts aren't sex organs. It's a little bit different. Now, if they went to school without underwear, yeah, that's inappropriate. They need to be sent home and told to put underwear on, or underwear be brought to school, or something. but you can't equate the two as men's bodies are different from women's bodies. Sorry, that's them's the breaks. But anyway, I wanted to give my thoughts on this video as it just you have both mother and daughter going out of their way to make a scene out of nothing. The daughter should have never been allowed to walk out of the house. The fact that the mother is enabling this is kind of concerning, as it's kind of wasting everyone's time. Just put on the article of clothing, the second piece of underwear, because that's what it is with women. It's the second piece of our underwear. We wear two pieces. Get over it. And causing everybody just unwanted distraction. That's what it really is. And it's not just the guys either. I brought up the guys. The article specifically stated students to everybody. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. I know this is going to make some people mad, and honestly, I don't care. There's certain levels of appropriateness that need to be maintained, especially when you have a classroom full of both growing young men and growing young ladies. That's just how it is. But like I said, those are my thoughts on the matter. I will leave a link in the description to the article below, and I will see you guys in the next one.